last time on the Whims of Fate, a handful of people weren't really happy with Emrys. And Tong led a group of the party in infiltrating the Saxon camp, with mostly just her doing all the work. But some crows that were befriended by George, but were sent by Brina to scout the camp, unknowingly ahead of the rest of the party.
I talked to crows.
Yeah, where it was discovered that a reindeer herd-sized group of Saxons remained. And when this news was relayed to the leaders of the army, news was sent to Emrys to say, "Don't bring the army back. We need them to stay at the castle." To which Emrys said, "I know." Which led to a war. Displeasure. So this time, on the Whims of Fate, we go to Idea talking with some people.
You can't forget that George befriended 3 crows.
I think it was brought up.
Yeah, it was. He said that he befriended the crows, and then Brina was the one who actually got them to go do what they needed to do.
He sent one off to find a wolf for him, which we will probably never see that crow again.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that helped me were named Hugin and Munion, which are apparently the same names as Odin's crows.
His ravens.
Ah, his ravens.
I'm just imagining now Jen rolls a set of like D100 at disadvantage every time that Ivan shows up to determine if the crows actually comes back with a wolf's egg.
I like this idea.
Only on a 100 at disadvantage does it come back. Anywho.
Well, right now he's very lost because that was only 14%. That or distracted by something shiny.
Wolf. Wolf.
Oh, is that a wolf? Oh no, that's. I'm not. That's a dog. All right. Yes, we will start with Idea.
Alrighty. As Idea picks up some of the, I guess metal doesn't char, but the soot-covered remains of various weapons. Some of the gleam has begun to return to her eyes. I can't wait to reforge this into something brilliant.
You can't deny that the Saxons at least know how to make their weapons well.
I believe so. I would believe such things. A warfaring people should know how to make good weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm curious, Cadmus.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you fight? Why not just stay in the forges? It seems like a much more pleasant place to stay. Still helping out.
I mean, I would rather stay in the forges. I'm not involved, but unfortunately, we just don't have enough people to satisfy our demands at this point. And at least when it comes to fighting Romans and Saxons, magic is a huge advantage. And I have the unfortunate stance of being a druid and not really being able to help the fact that I'm just magic. But Merlin told me to go, so I did. And he's my friend. I can't argue with him. That would just be bad form.
Fair enough. So every man's useful skill should be put to use.
Yeah, basically. I mean, aren't you technically from like a warfaring people?
You're right, I am. That's why I'm here. They told me to go get more experience. I personally prefer to just stay in the forges. But they didn't tell me to stop forging. They did tell me to get some combat experience because I was too drawn into my own work.
Or It's almost like Uther. He was brought to us by Taliesin. Well, not Taliesin. I mean, Taliesin had him sent for. It was actually Lady Igraine who went. Duchess Igraine. I'll get there. She's been Duchess for 4 years and I still can't get it right. Anyway, he was terrible at his education. So the Merlin had him brought to us, where he was kind of forced to pay attention, because if he didn't, magical things would happen to him, and he was not thrilled by that. I mean, nothing bad, little pops and snaps and crackles and, gag magic.
That's better than I was initially thinking.
Though, I will say, apparently at his first fire magic lesson, Emrys blew up a cauldron, so, the way he proves a point is not how any other teacher would prove a point. He picks up this, big medallion thing. It's one of the wise women medallions. And I think it went through your little exploding, anti-magic zone. There's nothing coming off of this.
On the one hand, that's excellent. On the other hand, it doesn't make them great for scavenging now, does it?
Oh, no, it means we get to put our own spin on it.
I like it.
He, pockets it.
That should be good for a day for the time being.
So, it's now officially dusk. A lot of the people who are out scavenging and out collecting bodies and things have stopped for the night. They're all gathering kind of back in the empty field where the camp had been. There's no tents or anything anymore, so people are just kind of setting out. Laying,
Bedrolls.
Some of them, obviously, some of them don't have them because, they ran off to battle and their stuff was picked up by other people. And not everybody has bags of holding. But yeah, anybody, especially if they were cavalry, so anybody who had a horse, their stuff's attached to their horse, so they're laying bedrolls out. Everybody else is just trying to make do with, shields and things and making them as comfortable as they can.
Why do I get this image of Tooth curled up in a big round shield?
Dude, I would have a pillow stuffed in the shield with me. Just have my own little blanket.
That's what I'm seeing!
And lunch.
And lunch. We don't see nearly enough of lunch.
Well, probably for good reason. We have an owl now.
True.
Yeah.
He's like, no. That reminds me because of who created it. Our cousin who made Tooth bought a new house.
Wow.
Awesome.
And apparently it's very empty because he has no furniture.
How's he doing?
Good. He's got a pretty good job. He fixes watches and clocks and stuff like that.
Nice.
He makes pretty good money, all things considered.
I like to think that one day I'll be able to buy a house.
One day. Oh.
See, it's like this. You either
It's a
get
dinosaur
furniture
bone.
or you get a house.
You
in
get
your
a what?
lifetime. You either get furniture or you get a house in your lifetime. You don't get both.
Ah, shoot. Well,
You're
I guess
saying I cursed myself with a large amount of furniture that I'm only mildly attached to?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Most of it.
And you resell it for what it originally was? Can you resell it at retail price?
The sad thing is you.
Fine.
I was just saying that the sad thing is you could sell it for the exact price you got it because that's not going to be as much as any furniture is worth now, thanks to inflation.
Yep.
So at least you won't lose any money on it. I didn't actually buy most of my furniture. It was gifted to me by other people. So, like, the bookcases I have over here were from my uncle.
Nice.
And this table that I'm sitting at was my sister's. And the couch was Kelly's. And my bed was my friend's ex-boyfriend's.
Interesting.
And the big fluffy pillow thing I have was from a member of the ward who went on a mission. Like, seriously, the only furniture that I bought was the furniture I had on my deck, so the chair I'm sitting in. But I got it, like, 75% off because I was working at Smith's and it was the end of the summer season and they were just trying to get rid of it. And then these things here that my lizards are sitting on.
Cool.
That's all I bought. Megan didn't even buy her bed. Her bed came from my friend Starly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the only piece of furniture I've bought is my desk, now that you mention it.
So maybe there's still hope for us because we didn't actually buy the furniture.
A lot
And I
of
was
these-
just kinda
these
looking
other
around.
pieces are ones that I had purchased, but like before we got married.
Nice.
Like the couch, our couch, like the dining room table and chairs and stuff. Like all but one of my bookcases, because I bought. Like when we moved here, we each got a new desk, and I got a new bookcase.
I bought a few chairs, I suppose. Desk
Yes.
chairs,
You
as
have-
they wear
you-
out.
Yeah.
But I always get the Staples warranty on them, and they're really generous with those things, so I always get my money back. All I have to pay is, $20 to $40 warranty to get $150 to $200 out of the chair 6 months later. And then use it for 3 more years.
Hey, we got rid of the one that needed an exorcism, so I'm okay with it. That thing squeaked so bad. It needed an exorcist. And I really, really hope that some poor college student did not actually pluck it off the curb.
Is possible.
Because
Probably.
it was posted, it is very possible. I hope, for the sake of them and the chair, that no one did.
Anyway, so it is dusk. We're still waiting for our out crew to come back. So, those of you who are within camp,
well,
I was helping Airmore heal people,
yeah.
so
By this point, everybody who needed it will be healed because there are lots of druids around, and I mean, you guys were working basically
Mm-hmm.
for like 2 hours, 2-3 hours doing all of this.
So yeah,
Around dusk.
So yeah, basically you
Huh?
look around and you see that the two people that you usually have cast the tiny hut aren't there.
It's
Our
fine.
house crew has left us shelterless, you're saying?
Yes. I mean, even Tooth has the tent.
Henry has the tent.
Does that,
Same difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that really change things?
Yep.
I just let you know.
Lots of fires have gone up as people gather around, and they're gathering around in, their little familiar groups that they're with. It doesn't take a lot to tell, like, which groups are which. Even in the fading light.
At some point.
Ern will actually make his way over to the druid group again.
Okay.
Our party refuses to make their own fire. Apparently.
I mean,
Why? Why would we do it?
that's just more effort. And what, for
We
only
can't have a party
2-3
sitting
people?
without a fire.
Do we need a party sitting?
Yeah, so you make it over to where the druids are. They've got a couple fires up. One of them does have, the druids that you know around it: Leoflid, Cadmus, Idea.
They drew it down.
Even Will is there.
Hmm?
Even Will is with them.
That probably doesn't actually surprise me that much, him being there. She probably just came back with Cadmus and...
Yeah, they're probably still talking about all the fun stuff that they found and what they could do with it.
Yes.
Like, too distracted to even notice that you've walked up. But Leoflid will wave happily.
Ern will wave back, kind of slide in somewhere and say, "So, hate to be a immediate demander, but does anyone know if it's going to rain in the next day or so, or overnight?"
Well, let's see. Leoflid. What do you think? Oh. Leoflid takes a bunch of, like, sticks and rocks or whatever and tumbles them, and they just kind of scatter around. I haven't the slightest idea. Will just looks up. He looks kind of just grumpy or disheartened or something. It's hard to tell. He's looking at her like, throwing rocks and sticks isn't going to tell you anything. She's just, shh, he doesn't know that.
No, Ern still just has this look of disbelief, so you can't tell which way he's thinking right now. He's like, does he know that sticks and rocks don't do anything, or does he not believe that druid can't tell?
Actually, go ahead. I want you to give me Arcana check.
All right. I hate Arcana. That is an 11.
You've actually seen this method used in your Saxon culture. It's something that the wise women use to try and predict the weather. You have no idea if it's accurate or not.
And Ern's probably lived in both of them enough to say there doesn't seem to be that much correlation.
Like, probably also helps that, like, Will is just like, what are you doing?
I mean, sometimes my missing toes are better at figuring out if it's gonna rain or not.
So she goes, okay, fine, hold up. And she closes her eyes. and lets her breath out. But before she could even like open her eyes or anything, Will's like, "You're not a weather druid. You have no idea how to tell." She opens her eyes and will be like, "You just need to relax. I know. Today has been a what is your favorite thing to call bad days? Oh yes, a shithole. But I promise you, if you just put a little smile on, it'll make it all better." And at this, Cadmus actually stops talking with you, just turns and goes, "You know Will is far too serious to ever put a smile on his face. Quit trying." However, if I take one of my new little trinkets here and put a happy spell on it, maybe we can force him to smile.
Ern's just watching this entire thing. Ern's just slowly becoming more and more disbelieving as each sentence is said. Like, this is making less and less sense and more impossible at the same time. How are you doing this?
She actually will grab the trinket, the little pendant or whatever she's looking at, and she goes, "Well, first off, this pendant is not a happy pendant. This has the god Tyr carved into it. Do you know who Tyr is? He's the god of war. This is not a happy thing." Hey, the comic that I read called Loki, Lord of Chaos, just updated. And the funny thing is his brother Tyr just died. Or not Tyr, Baldur. Baldur died.
Ah.
But it's okay, he's married to the goddess of death, so it's fine. He's actually having a blast. He even begged Loki not to cry for him so that he wouldn't get separated from the love of his life.
Hey, Tanner.
Hello.
Okay, we have the entire outgoing crew. Alright, it's
We
outside.
do. Perfect.
Beautiful Bozeman sky.
I wanted to, not quite Bozeman. Billings. Beautiful Billings
Ooh.
sky. You got the rims.
Oh, look at there. You do.
Yeah.
Sandstone.
Ah,
Yeah.
so much that stuff.
Be careful. Don't let it break off and hit you. It does that a lot.
Yeah, it does. A couple of years ago, there was a big old piece of rock that fell off and landed in somebody's family room. Luckily, no one was home.
Yeah, it was it was city councilman.
I did not know that.
Do something about
Yep.
the sandstone.
Sandstone is not as stable as you'd like it to be. Building your house right below it or right on top of it is not a good idea.
Who would have thought, right? Sandstone. No.
It's full of holes, and you know what likes to go in holes? Water. And you know what water likes to do to rocks? Destroy it.
Yeah.
Gee, I feel like I'm getting my Sid Strat lesson all over again. Except that we were covering carbonates today.
So if you build
Carbonates are a little more stable. I wouldn't mind building on top of limestone as long as we don't have acid rain.
That's becoming more common.
Welcome
Yeah.
to where you get a geology lesson as well as fun.
So if you built your house upon sandstone, does that make you simultaneously wise and foolish at the same time?
No, it makes
I
you
mean, I guess-
foolish because you don't recognize the oxymoronic name.
I think it'll just come down to the type of sandstone you got going on there. I would feel a lot better building my house on top of Aeolian sandstone because it's fine grain, which means there's a lot less space between the grains, so it's a lot harder to like destroy. Plus, it makes these nice, pretty rounded domes, and so you could live on top of your own little hill.
So you can be king of the hill.
You can.
Or king of ale.
No, what it makes me think of is in Mulan, I am Yao, king of the rock. And there ain't nothing you girls can do about it.
And don't look at me. I ain't biting no more butts.
Ah, snake!
Ah. Anyway. Yes, God of War.
Yes.
This is not a happy season.
So it does feel like all the magic got sapped out of it. Was that you guys?
Ern just looks over to Adea.
Adele looks around. I mean, did you want all the magic sapped out of it?
Oh yeah, I mean we don't want them using it against us. Not that their magic's terribly powerful. I mean, they're kind of just removing magic from ley lines, but the moment they get away from the ley lines, it weakens anyway, so their magic's not great.
Yes, it was
Hence-
totally.
Hence why I decided to go to school with the druids. Just never minding the fact that I didn't actually grow up in Saxony, so, whatever.
Is she
No, well,
still holding this
Nah.
amulet out?
No, Cadmus took it back.
Okay.
Though I must ask, because I saw a lot of armor just kind of crumple and fall apart. What exactly did you do?
We cast a fabricate spell on it. It was glorious.
Oh, you cast it on iron, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Alright, that makes sense.
You should have seen the look on that blacksmith's face when we first did it.
Oh, I can imagine. Especially if it was Antonius, because boy, you don't mess with his stuff. He gets real angry. Cadmus doesn't say anything, he just kind of nods as he's like tucking things away. Just like,
Because Idea obviously doesn't know which Smith it was.
Nope.
Walgreens? Kind of forgot they were in Montana.
Every now and then, though, they're kind of I feel like they're going out of business a little bit. Especially if you get into bigger towns with like Albertsons and Walmart and different stuff like that.
You know what the weirdest change was coming from Montana to Utah though? There's no Staples here.
What?
There are two Staples. There is two Staples within driving distance from me here. One is in Provo. The other one's in Park City. That's it. Everything else is Office Max or Best Buy.
Huh.
It was so weird.
There's only one Best Buy in Montana, and it's in Billings.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but I got used to Staples because there's two in Bozeman.
Well, in Office Max and Office Depot, they've been declining in Montana.
Mm-hmm. I think, didn't the Office Max and Bozeman go out of business?
Did it?
The
Yeah.
Office Depot did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah.
Really?
They just weren't.
You mean the one across from Smith's?
Shopping experience.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
And the one that used to be in Great Falls, it closed years ago. But there's a Staples in Great Falls.
So, you know what's really big in Australia? Kmart.
Really?
Yeah. Kmart still exists in Australia, and they love it.
I feel like I've seen a Kmart somewhere.
It was on the geoguessing thing. There was still a Kmart in one of the places that they were geoguessing on the Slice stream.
Maybe. I feel like I've actually seen one now.
I have, but I'm those who remember when they were around more often.
We went to an H Mart. That's
Yeah,
not
we
the
went
same
to an
thing.
H Mart. It's awesome. It's an Asian market.
Okay, Asian Mart or H as in the letter?
H as in the letter. It's called H Mart, but it's an Asian market.
That's cool.
There's a Pokemon vending machine.
Of course
Yep.
there is.
There's a lot of vending machines.
I would go. I would spend so much money.
Plus,
See-
all the mochi.
Oh, mochi is delicious.
See,
Yes.
we've got a crap load of cafes and patisseries and boulangeries around here. Oh, gosh. If they were closer to my house, it'd be way more dangerous.
We don't have any bakeries nearby. I mean, okay, we do have Henry's Donut, which is a 24-hour donut place, which is actually pretty good. Literally, 24-hour donut place.
What? Oh! No, that was a different donut place. Never mind. I don't know.
It's hard
They
to
could
find a
all
good
just-
place.
It's true. Anyway, continuing on. I'm not going to continue having myself talk to myself. So,
Is Brina at the camp as well, or?
I know I'm at the camp. I would have been with Amor. I don't know if I would have. What's Amor doing?
he's probably.
He's probably with his men.
Okay.
If we finished, healing people and burying
Mhm.
bodies respectfully.
Yeah, I might go in
Yeah.
search of Airden then if Amor is with his men and I don't want to bother him. Like, I want to spend time with Amor because he's my buddy, but at the same time, it's like, I'll go. Actually, I'm probably going to go look for Idea because I know she wants her necklace back.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right.
I'm probably wandering over towards that fire that you're at.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigate to see if you can find them.
I guess where am I at this point?
You're with the
You're
outgroup,
still-
You
you're
are-
on the way
So
back.
it is. Yeah, I was gonna say it's just dusk, so you guys would have just arrived at the other camp.
Okay.
I'm playing catch up with the other group because
15.
you guys.
No.
15?
No, it's off.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to find them pretty easily. You find everybody all together around the druid fires.
Druid fire.
I'll probably try and find a space next to Idea since I know she wants her necklace back, and I'll move over towards her and try and sit down.
Oh, now there'll be plenty of space. They'll move over.
This druid fire is now also the party fire.
Druid party!
Actually, speaking of which, while the conversation was going on earlier, Ern pulled out the banjo and started
Leophla kind of cocks her head. Since when do you play an instrument?
Since I purchased it.
In Atlantis.
And Cadmus is like watching. He's like, "What is that?"
It's this fascinating thing called a banjo.
You get basically the same look from everyone. They look like they want to say something, but then they're just like,
I don't know what to say.
I don't know how to. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to feel. And then you hear Talia say, "Oh, are we breaking out the banjo? Do you need a beat?"
Sure, but I'm thinking of something a little more slower and softer this time around.
Like, and because Celtic Girl sings it, she's gonna. He starts to sing. He's like something like, "Good night, my angel. Now's the time to go." And he's got like this just beautiful melodic voice just coming out of this drum. Ooh.
The real question is Taliesin a bass, a tenor, or a baritone?
All three.
Oh yeah, so
Taliesin, I would not doubt that range.
Taliesin has got like a 4-octave range. He's insane.
Most of the time, it doesn't matter.
He is an epic level bard. He can sing whatever key and whatever range he wants. So right now he's got that baritone, you know, going on. Something soft and kind of you feel it in your chest a little bit. Yeah, so I don't believe Leofled or Cadmus were aware of the drum's sentience. I know Will.
I think out of everyone in that around that fire, only the party members and Will.
And Will, yeah. So Cadmus was playing with a tool and he drops it. He goes, Taliesin?
And completely ignores everyone's surprise and starts playing along.
And Cadmus actually like grabs Leofled's hand and he's just like, did he kill him? What? And she just kind of pats him.
Are they speaking in a language I understand? Please say yes.
Oh no, he's definitely talking in Druidic now. He's just like.
Do I notice that they look alarmed?
Oh yeah, his eyes are wide. She looks less alarmed. She's just kind of patting his hand, but looking concerned. Some of the other druids that were kind of in the circle have also stopped and are looking like.
It's like.
That's a modified 20 for performance.
It's
Cool.
Taliesin in the drum. We don't understand how he got there either, other than I think Airden said Rhiannon put him there. So, but no, he's been with us. We didn't kill him, I promise you. We tried to save him.
Rhiannon? The goddess?
That's what you said, right, Airden? Rhiannon, right? That's why Taliesin's in the drum?
Yes, it was her.
Or was it the Lady of the Lake?
No.
No. It was Rhiannon.
That's
Leofled's looking at you, Erden. Isn't that your patron goddess?
Yes, she is.
Wow, how did you incur that kind of favor?
Just a couple conversations.
Probably
Couple other things.
Like, I get it. We're druids, and, you know, we're supposed to be, like, conversing with the gods, but, Cadmus, have you ever talked to a god? No.
I don't recommend the conversations I had, but...
Airden talks to a lot of them.
Mostly
What
the
do you
ones.
mean a lot of them? How many gods have you spoken to?
Quetzalcoatl
Erden
is
kind of like stops and just starts counting off of his hands, like.
I was gonna say, I have to count. I know.
And just to put down the banjo, like start kind of like.
Rhiannon, Lady of the Lake, What's of Water, Dolos, Thanatos,
Based on a good day.
Poseidon's son, Triton.
Yeah, with Trident, that was mostly Chris helping us with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Airden said something, but Chris was the one carrying that conversation.
Who's Chris?
Rare.
Oh yeah, Frere. Papa Frere. That's how I know what a reindeer is.
What? What? You've spoken to Frere?
No.
Dad's Loki.
He was Frere.
You're not there.
That's nice
Yeah, I'm
little
not.
Actually, that's why I have my little horn that I do. He gave it to me as a gift.
You got a gift from Frere? What do I gotta do to do this?
Apparently, some of us in that cases. Do you want your necklace back now? I have a feeling I'm disrupting the druids when I was just trying to help.
Although this might not help
Cadmus is now patting her on the back, just like, it's okay. It's not okay. I want to meet Frere. He's the nice one.
Ern kind of like picks up the banjo again, and picks up where he left off, and just looks at Brian like, you know, we should probably stop talking about all this before we get everyone a heart attack. I mean, I know they can probably survive it, but it's not
I
healthy.
still need to get Leah's necklace back, though. Do you think it's okay for me to bring out my jar of dirt and get my necklace back from the Bank of Hades?
Oh, yeah, Hades. He talks to us
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
Bank of Hades?
I really should stop talking.
Brina, what did I say about talking?
Will's been silent this whole time, but you can slowly just see him like sitting up and just like silently just just very expressive, like, what is happening?
I'm just like hanging my head, but I pull out my jar of dirt anyway because I know Idea wants her necklace back, and I want to remember to give it back to her before something else happens. And so I'm gonna pull out my little jar of dirt and unscrew the top and grab my little crystal. Can I have that necklace that I, or just like put the crystal in, listen to the little.
Right. So yeah. So you put the crystal in. This voice echoes for people that like around to hear. So it's like, welcome to the Bank of Hades. How may I help you today? I mean, it's it.
The necklace I deposited earlier, please.
Can I have your name and bank account?
Brina Torin. Do you need me to actually rattle? I mean, and to rattle off my account number.
No, it's okay. You don't have to. Not this time. You can just rattle your number.
Rattle off the account number.
Excellent. One moment, please. And there's like a little shaking and then a pop as the necklace comes out of the dirt and lands in your hand.
Thank you. Idea, here's your necklace back.
Excellent. Thank you.
I like just cap my little
Cadmus is like, he just kind of grabs you and Dana's like, how did you do? I must know the secret.
Well, I got a jar of dirt so that I could always have access to my bank account.
I don't know what a bank account is, but
What are these words that you are saying?
Blame Atlantis. That's where we got our accounts. Well, all I have to do is put a little crystal into the dirt and bury it and give them my account information, and they give me my money. It's where I can store my money.
Cadmus needs a referral to the Bank of Hades.
I feel like I'm.
You see him start like rummaging in his clothes. Oh jeez, Eddie has a jewel in his pocket.
Like,
starts digging a hole.
Like, I'm trying so hard not to freak anybody out. I'm like, crap, I'm failing. Should I just pull out my flute and start playing so that I'm shutting up? Like,
Cadmus is he's digging a hole in the ground and he's shoving whatever gemstone he pulled out of his pocket and he's burying it and he's just like, now what? Is he gonna talk to me?
Ern's just been playing this entire time, desperately trying to stop himself from cracking up.
Will at this point is just, Cadmus, I don't think that's how that works.
Adea, by the time she gets the lid back on the jar, has probably already started working on the necklace again. So that she can finish it and actually wear it, because it's gotta be clothes.
Let's go ahead and do a craft check.
Oh yeah. This is the dexterity craft check, right?
Yes. Dice on the table.
Sorry about that. I have to jump out for a little bit.
You're fine.
Well, all you missed was that they've learned that they've talked to a lot of gods, and they watched Brina summon a necklace from her Bank of Hades, and now Cadmus is trying to stick a gem in the ground and get Hades to talk to him, but it's not working.
21.
Why does it not work for Cadmus?
Huh?
It doesn't count.
Well, wasn't that? I mean.
21.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're very, very close. just about there. Probably one more day's worth of practice or work on this, and you'll have it.
Finally be able to put the chain on the rock.
Cadmus unburies it. Oh, it's still there.
I don't exactly know how it works, Cadmus. I just remember that they set these up for us when we were in Atlantis. That's where Aaron got his banjo. The flute there was too.
Hey, you're from like the sister island, right? Do you have a connection?
Me? Oh no,
No. Idea.
Yes, but I happen to also be on the boat wreck to Atlantis.
The boat wreck to Atlantis. I love that phrasing. Does
Well,
anybody?
you guys are no help at all.
Please tell me if somebody picks up on the fact that Idea said boat wreck to Atlantis and not boat ride to Atlantis. Please tell me somebody out of the druids picks up on that.
Yeah, Leoflin does. She's looking very incredulously at Idea. And a Cadmus who's just like, you're no help at all.
I barely even talk to my own god.
Didn't you tell me that Hephaestus had to force you to come help us with the murder mystery?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I think, oh look! I think Emrys is back. She stands up and starts walking away.
If Cadmus's rock is still on the ground, Adea will look over at everybody who we've thoroughly confused and just kind of, while she's still working, kind of reach a hand out and be like, let me brighten your day and cast light on the rock.
I'm gonna be like, as this is all happening, like I've tucked away my jar of dirt. I'm pulling out my flute so that I can accompany Airden because I'm like, heaven help me, I'm not trying to make anybody's day worse. I'm trying to make it better, and I am failing. I made Leoflin jealous of me because I got a gift and got to talk to Freyr. I've confused the heck out of Cadmus because of having to withdraw her necklace out of the bank account. And I completely scared them over the fact of Taliesin when all I was trying to do was reassure them. I'm going to try and be a bard now and see if I can succeed at that!
You have an excellent story to
Go
tell.
for it.
Technically, you've been a successful bard because you've been telling a story this entire time.
Yes.
It's true.
But I'm gonna start trying to play my flute with Airden. So performance check. Yeah, that's gonna be a 22.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You slide right into whatever it is that Erdin and Taliesin have been doing this whole time. Will stand up though. He follows where he watches where Leoflin goes, and then he eventually stands up and follows her. To which Cadmus watches him go and goes, "Oh, she wasn't just making the excuse to go away. She is back. That's fine."
Everyone will actually skip a no right there, like, wait, what?
Hey, looks like he's gone over to where the kings are. He's still tinkering with something now.
God damn it. Taliesin, do you want to stay here, or...
Oh, no, I wouldn't miss this for a world.
Alright.
Can't wait to see everybody chew him out.
Can I come too? Because I have a feeling I'm gonna scare the druids if I stay here.
Well, hello, sweetheart. You coming out? Are you hungry? Should I give you some bugs? Oh, you're awake? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Did you get a mouthful of dirt? I'll be right back.
Neuter Gyarados.
Hi, sweetheart.
Did my group get back to the campfire, or are we still coming in?
Oh, you're in the middle of nowhere.
You're still in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
So Tanner,
Hi.
here's what's going on.
Yes.
All of this is taking place at dusk. Wow.
Look at this face.
We have just arrived at the Saxon camp, and you know.
Look at her.
Trying to be helpful.
So,
I remember, yeah, we were at the Saxons camp.
Brought
I went
us
and snuck up
last
by the
drop,
people on the
let's
fire.
see.
Was thinking about jumping the main guy, then realized I was surrounded by 20 plus people, and probably didn't want to do that.
Yeah, so
There's the
Quickest
cold.
way to end my life.
yeah, so if anything, we have just either arrived to the Saxon camp or we are just leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So we have
Yeah,
a couple
you could-
in-game hours
That was
before we're
2
back.
seconds away from doing like ominous whispers or like making the fire flicker with thaumaturgy.
Ern will actually look back at Brina and say, "Alright, you can come along. I gotta follow the royals' decree that I have to be the one to talk to Emrys first." Which, frankly, I think that's a great idea.
Hopefully, I'll have somebody translating for me, so I actually understand what's going on. But I think if I stayed at the fire with the rest of the troops, they'd feel uncomfortable because I inadvertently scared them. All I was trying to do is help. But at the same time, I was technically in possession of Idea's wild magic rock, so maybe that's why.
No, they've dealt with it, but that stuff before.
Everything will be fine as long as Adea doesn't try to use it. Because every time Adea's tried to use it so far, she's blown things up in the face of druids.
And I imagine we've kind of walked away from the fire at this point, and we'll look down at Brina and say, "Yeah, no, I think they'd. I mean, it's a bit of a surprise when I started counting on my fingers, but I think all of them would be a little miffed that I've met 10 so far."
No one seems annoyed that I speak with animals, though, so that's nice.
I mean, a lot of the, at least some of them can do that, and even I can do that if I wanted to.
What happened
And where has Thunderclap gone off to, anyways?
I don't know. He's your
Declaring
horse.
himself supreme lord of the horses of the stables.
Oh.
Probably.
Duh. Hi, Newt.
That was probably just the first hour after the battle.
Yeah, Ern cut off of Thunderclap, and Thunderclap was like, "Well, I guess I'm done fighting now. Maybe I'll go this way."
So it doesn't take you guys long to get to the fire where all of the kingly folk are.
Cadmus are all
Oh, wait,
alone by
is
the other
Prince
fire.
No.
Oh. I was hoping you could translate for me.
Taliesin, can you translate for Brina?
Of course.
Thank you.
Or no, actually, pan Taliesin over to you.
Yeah, I'll stand there holding the drum.
Let's see here. Amber was here when we got the announcement that Emrys knew, right? And that he was coming back.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to decide if his return is something that Amber both noticed and feels important enough to go show up to, or rather that he is invited to.
I guess give me a perception check. We'll see at least if he spots him first.
Yeah. Because Amber doesn't have any beef with Emrys. I think this was just the beef session. 19.
Oh yeah, he notices.
I guess the question is Gorlois over there?
Yes, Gorlois is over there.
Well, considering that we're probably going to need more orders later, and he's probably mostly settled his men the best that he can, he will probably go over there under the pretense of Gorlois being there and making sure that everything that is needed is there.
Sounds good. Alright. So when you guys arrive, there's not a ton of... there's a little bit of talking. Uther and Aurelia start chatting, Uther is pointedly not looking at Emrys. He's very annoyed right now. I can't have you run off the table, sweetheart. It's a fall that I'd rather you didn't take.
Hello, Newt.
Go put her.
Goodbye, Newt. I was so happy to see you, the gecko.
Has a squeaky door.
Oh no, you're fine.
No, I think you need to oil your door.
Right.
He shouldn't
Probably.
open his door because then he'll know when people are sneaking into his house.
That is true.
That's why you set up a tripwire.
That's why you said it.
Home Alone style.
Remind me never to try and surprise you, Marco.
Oh no, I have better things than a tripwire for home invader detection.
Proximity mines?
The proximity part, absolutely. I don't want to destroy my dwelling though, so I'm gonna avoid the mine part. Unless it's glitter and glue,
I mean-
then that's debatable.
I mean, hey, have you heard of
Or a monster.
mousetrap?
I was
patent
gonna go
that
with
had
a
revolver?
can of boiling tar, but
Glitter and
Someone like submitted a patent for a mousetrap that involved a revolver.
I thought that was actually sold as an
Sounds
actual.
excessive. It's like putting a proximity mine on your front door. That's overkill. And besides, you want that person to live so you can sue the hell out of them for breaching your property line.
And
I don't know, I feel like,
the video where I learned this from is continued a joke by saying snail trebuchet and cockroach claymore.
I mean, that's the only way to get rid of cockroaches. Let's be honest here.
This is true. They are quite.
let's play more.
Ah, the Salmonella Academy.
Yeah, no, I like my idea of glue and glitter.
You, sir, are a monster.
What do you mean? If they have glitter all over them, then they're very easily identifiable.
I know.
I mean, what was it, Mark Rober?
I'm not saying it
the guy
necessarily
who
is a bad thing.
started,
Like, against
doing the porch pirate pranks. Well,
Mhm.
Yeah, I was about to say, are we talking about people now?
Yeah.
Oh, she was being aggressive. She really wanted those bugs.
So Uther's avoiding Emrys.
Yeah, Boars and
Conspicuously looking away
That's
out of spite.
yeah.
Band are there, not intentionally really not paying attention to anyone, but they're brothers and they're having, brotherly banter. So,
Boars and Galban.
yep. And Gorlois is pretending to listen to Uther and Aurelius, but he's kind of watching Emrys.
Emmer will settle himself somewhere near the back but close to Gorlois, so he can
Gorlois
learn
will
things
nod
or
to
help Gorlois, or
Mhm.
sneak away if somebody decides that they don't want him there. Or it's just not a useful place to be.
I'm going to stick as close to Airden as possible. While holding Taliesin.
You think we can get Taliesin to make you guys an epic entrance?
Do we need one? That might be the most unbardish thing I have said this entire game. I mean, like, I'm more of a storyteller bard than the musician bard, but at the same time, like, man, I'm not really bardish right now, am I?
Well, see, here's the thing. You play a flute, which means you can't tell stories while playing music at the same time.
Yeah.
So one of them would end up being more deficient than the other. Unless you have a backup band,
Which you do.
which you now have 2 people who can play music next to you for that.
I mean, currently, yes. There
But
are several
why-
other party members that can play instruments.
Yes. I was gonna say, but my thing is like the fact that I'm questioning if we needed an entrance. I'm like, wow, I'm a horrible bard. Because most
He
bards
just
would
starts
know
stealing
that.
the drum beat, you know, dun 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 da 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 da.
Now Ern will kind of, seeing what Uther's doing, he'll just slide in between him and Emerus, however that kind of works out, just to make it a little easier.
Yeah.
Easier to pretend she doesn't see him.
Uther will glance at you. Hi.
Hi.
And how are you this evening?
I'm doing fairly okay. How are you doing?
Marvelous. We're just having a rousing conversation, Aurelius. Aurelius is like stumped. He was like eating something and he just. No.
I'm gonna like try and cover my laughter behind the drum as I just translates that for me. It's like,
Hi. Are you poking your head out somewhere? I'm not feeding you any more bugs. You're gonna get fat.
So, what did you do after the whole battle happened? Still
Collected
tied
bodies.
to Uther.
It was riveting.
Oh, I bet it was.
I thought Saxon stunk on the outside.
Well, first of all, that's not really nice to your fallen enemy, and secondly, everyone kind of stinks after a battle. I mean, have you smelled half of our own party?
First off, I'm gonna talk about my enemy all I want because they're the ones invading my home. 2, I don't want to say anything bad about my own army because I need them to like me.
That's fair.
Aurelius is just kind of nodding along while he's eating.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely gonna have to figure out how to restock my herbalism kit after this, because it is empty.
I'm gonna like try and like quietly whisper to Eridan's like, I could probably use prestidigitation to clean you up a bit if you want. Well, once I get some spell slots back, I'm not sure how many I have left.
Prestidigitation's a cantrip. You can use it.
It's a
daily.
cantrip.
Oh yeah.
That one you can
Hey.
just boop.
Yeah, you're probably using it all day. Jaren will look back at Brina and is like, you know, I really hope we can work on that. Work on me figuring out how to cast that later.
Tom will probably help. If you can ask her nicely, I guess.
Well, I already did it once. And I'm on my way with minor illusion, so I'm optimistic about that.
Now you're learning magic too. Can't I have just one normal friend? Gorlois. No, you're not normal. Gee, Hector. Hector's normal.
Uther,
Aurelius just looks up and goes, "What am I, a fish?"
For the amount of noise you're making, apparently. I'm gonna look back at this like, before Rhiannon showed up, I couldn't cast magic either.
Yeah, but even if a goddess showed up and bestowed power on me, I'm still not I'm not connected to the Fae or wild lines or whatever the hell they are.
Ley lines.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gazoon tight. And then he turns to Aurelius. And no, you're not a friend. You're my cousin. You don't count. Glad to see that's how you feel.
Go back to eating.
Now, how about you stop ignoring your friend? And, go have your blows so that we can be civilized in the morning.
You still want me to go first?
You are up, my friend.
Awesome. And Ern will kind of do that, like, sideways slide to go get a little closer to Emrys.
Emrys is just sitting cross-legged. He's created his own food. He's happily munching away. Doesn't even seem to care that nobody's talking to him. Being this close to him, though, you can get... The fires are giving some strong relief to the burns on one half of his body. So he does look kind of
Terrifying.
Elephant Man on one side, yeah. He's not quite Elephant Man, but, Two-Face. He looks like Two-Face.
That's an image. I had a flattering one earlier, but now it's just awful. Okay.
His face didn't get too badly burned. That was the first part that Nimue started with. she might like his face a bit as normal. But his neck definitely is badly scarred.
So, I think I speak for at least a few of the people here that we miss the hell out of you. And those of us who actually knew you were disappeared were really worried about where the hell you went. And one of us died over it. And two of us nearly died over it. Apparently. So, well, good old Uther here wants to, I don't know, undo half the things that have brought you apparently back from the brink. I just want to find out what happened for the past 4 years that you decided not to tell anybody that you were alive at all. Even though, I know you can do wind magic. Just one little thing. Would have been nice. To any of us.
He hasn't even looked up at you, and he just goes, I was comatose. It just keeps eating.
For... I know it was at least 4 years. So was it all 6 years, or...
Good chunk of it. I don't remember. Can tell you that it was at least 2 years. But I was also in the other world, so don't actually know how much time passed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She keeps coming out of her pyramid, but the moment I look up and look at her, she darts back in. I'm like, you made it all the way to the Triceratops. Anyway.
Trying to do an Ocean's 11 to get more bugs.
Yeah. Sorry. And my brain just totally in one ear, out the other ear. What was the last thing you said?
I don't remember anymore. The more it's on my mouth, I can't remember what I said.
Emrys was telling Airden that he wasn't sure how much time had passed because he knows it's 2 years, but he was in the other world, so he's not sure how much time has passed. Emrys was actually the last one speaking.
Oh, it was Emrys. Okay. I thought he had said something. I was like, that's just my brain making things up. All right. But I assume, being from the other world, you understand how that works.
Oh, I do. I also happen to be in the other world for the past 4 years. This world side, anyways.
Then why are you chewing me out if you've been gone as long?
Because I showed up 4 years ago.
Looky there. Remember when you disappeared? We were making bets to see what monster was going to eat you.
Oddly enough, I haven't been eaten yet. So you all would have failed.
That's not true. Leofla didn't want to join in. She thought you would come back.
I should talk to her more. She's the
She's a
nicest
nice
out of
person.
all of you.
I'm nice. I just don't take stupidity from other people.
Could you say that last part?
I just don't take stupidity from other people. Like when Cadmus decided to take that dare and jump in the shark-infested waters and nearly lose a leg.
Breen is like listening to as Taliesin's like very quietly translating all this. It's like, and like mentally she's like, I'm gonna have to ask him about that. Away from Idea.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
What are you doing? You can't go in that closet. Sorry.
Albus?
Yeah, and like the closet doors in this room slide. So like he can't put his weight on it, he might break the door. Anyway.
So, on a scale of 1 to definitely, how uncomfortable were you when you decided to do your magnificent landing and transformation in front of everybody?
Wasn't my idea. I would have gratefully just set the whole damn thing on fire and done with it. No. Naya thought that I needed to announce my return. Ridiculous.
You know, You know what? Now that just makes sense, actually. Okay.
And to make matters worse, I had to do it again when I went to go get the rest of the army settled. I had to know it was really me. Should have seen this coming.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Almost dying, making an epic return. I mean, I don't think there's any way you could have avoided it after burning an entire army.
Well, I'd been told that Uther was standing in as the Pendragon. I thought that, it would encourage our side to, make an effort.
Did you know about the other section of the army that didn't show up when you had that thought, or were you planning on saving a few more for the second wind of everybody seeing that?
I can't just go around killing entire armies. So far, that section's done nothing wrong except march across the land. They've hurt no one. And I'm hoping that maybe they'll turn around and go tell their leaders exactly what they're up against.
You know, I
And if they-
put some gold on that, but frankly, I just don't want to win that easily.
I figure if they decide not to do it, I'm just gonna plague a locust. See if they like that.
What is a locust? Wait, would I have an idea what that is? Because of
No,
no.
no,
Even on the mainland?
no.
Okay.
Locusts, yeah.
They're a transformation of grasshoppers.
I was gonna say
would
they're
only
alright.
occur when there's an overabundance of food.
Yeah,
Me knows what they are. Brina doesn't.
no, Brina doesn't. So Talius will be like, well, they're these large sort of insects that like to eat literally everything they can get their mouth on. Quite destructive.
Are they venomous like palm spiders?
Oh, no. They're good eating, though.
You're also way too dead for the venom to do anything anyways. Aaron kind of just leans over to Brina as he says that before leaning back.
What on earth are you talking about? Do you often lie to your companions?
Oh.
No way. That's Embers' voice.
Uh-huh.
Not often. I like to be very genuine with them. Except for this one case, which you probably won't see anyways. And frankly, it would make a very amazing story.
I'm confused. Is Airden lying?
There is no venom involved in locusts.
Oh, okay. Well, I had asked if they were like palm spiders back home, but that makes sense.
No, they're not arachnids. They're like... You're an islander.
Yes.
Grasshoppers.
Does Brina know what those are?
Yes.
Oh.
Because those you would have seen on your mainland.
Okay. Gotcha. It's like, oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
But larger and messier.
Sorry to interrupt. Sir.
I see you've come out again.
Imagine. How does one like Brina's like talking to the drums like, how does one address a Marlin? Don't want to be rude. I know I don't
Emrys.
Druid,
Just call
but...
me Emrys.
He's not a title person.
Merlin is the title. But I hate it.
I'm Brina, if that helps.
It's a pleasure to meet you, little one.
Thank you. I'll let you and Aaron continue your conversation now that I understand what locust is.
So I hear that you had an encounter with Nea. I'm sorry. The Lady of the Lake.
No, I knew that was her name.
Well, Nea's the name that she's come up with on her own. Wasn't aware she'd told anyone.
Oh no, I heard her sister affectionately call her that.
Ah. Let's see. Well. I was also told all about the drum situation. He kind of leans forward. So, Taliesin, does that mean you're still in charge? Oh no, my dear boy. I'm dead. I'm very dead. I'm trapped in a drum. I can't do anything. Except, make drum beats. And talk.
Still trying to get rid of that title?
I didn't ask for this. I was told that this was going to be my fate. And then, of course, I had these nasty visions confirming it, which is not what I wanted to see. Hey, I didn't want to be a drum, but here we are.
You know, I feel like there should be a smarter way of saying you can't avoid destiny.
All water leads to the sea.
Has any of us heard Tiberius say all roads lead to Rome?
High or low?
Low?
Yes, you have. He says it a lot.
Our friend Tiberius says all roads lead to Rome? I'm not sure exactly where Rome is.
I have it on A saying it would make it easier, but neither of my characters are there.
Yeah.
Emrys just kind of looks at you. Well, unfortunately, for your friend, Rome is basically dead, so I don't think they all lead there anymore.
I'm gonna look at Eridan's like, he's gonna be crossing himself, isn't he?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I don't want to tell him.
He was already told.
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to confirm it again.
Then again, how many times has he lost his mind over everything that's happened?
Daily? Multiple times a day?
I think we
Why
should
is
leave
this-
him here. I think he needs to find somebody who can help him through that.
Well, I managed to convince a Roman to be okay with magic, even if he won't talk to me now, which is very childish for a leader. Uther's like shoving bread in his mouth. Oh, me? Oh!
No, it's not you. Don't worry about it. And also, pot calling kettle black?
I had no reason to initiate. I've done nothing wrong. In fact, I only burned because someone's brother was trying to get him killed and I was protecting him. You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, progress.
He like swallows the chunk of bread. Alright, look. You're right. You're right. You only got hurt because of me. But I think that it would have been super, super helpful. And I'm not saying this is on you, but I'm really afraid to call out a god on this, okay? But it would have been really nice to know that you were actually still alive, even if you were, like, comatose, so that I, had some notion of what was going on, instead of trying to wing it. Emrys is silent for a moment, then. Yeah, that's fair. I can't control her, though. She does what she wants. Believe me, I've tried. You know what happens? I get silenced.
So it's like fighting the tide?
Get out.
Just Taliesin too. It's just the
Taliesin just does the boom. You two. You and your terrible puns, both of you. I did not miss that.
Look, think about it like this. You know you're among friends. Or at the very least, people are willing to care about you, even with your irony exterior.
Makes sense. I don't trap magic.
You
Hell magic. I don't repel magic.
You mean the magic of puns?
That's not magic. That's tyranny.
I think Tyr might have something to say about that. Thank you, Arthur.
You okay over there? I will say Gorlois definitely snorted and then just like Uther's got the I'm trying not to laugh smile where he's like at his lips first and he's like
If I've gotten it because I'm also having to hear it translated through Taliesin, I'm probably just like smiling broadly behind the drum and holding the drum up a little bit more. Like, but at the same time, if I do end up escaping a laugh, it's going to be like after everybody else because of the translation time. Delayed reactions.
I suppose enough small talk, though. We probably have things we actually need to discuss. Or you wouldn't have all come over here.
Amror, who was starting to slowly disappear, has stopped moving.
Uther just kind of... Yes. We've got to decide. Do you really just want to let that other half of the army just go?
The part where...
Tell me, Uther. What would you do? Look at your numbers. And the numbers they've got there are another at least 2,000, maybe 3. What are you and your little ragtag team gonna do? Well, you've had some time to recover. It's the middle of the night. They're not expecting anyone to show up in their camp, or they'll be nicely tucked away in tents that are very flammable. Gorlos. Oh. Aurelius actually looks up too, raising his eyebrows. It's not very honorable.
Hammer kind of gives that turn of a head look behind everyone else, like, okay.
I was considering on having Tong just like cast Dragon's Breath on Gaucher and have him just Dresden their camp.
Uther kind of leans back and is looking at Aurelius and he's like, we can't do honorable, Aurelius. I know you want to follow the rules of warfare, but we are severely outnumbered. Especially if he's saying there's 2,000 to 3,000 more men out there. I mean, if he hadn't shown up and scorched everyone, where would we be? We need to do this in a way that is beneficial to us. They invaded our home. They attacked us. The time for honor is over. And Emrys just
Please tell me it's been a couple hours so that the outgoing group can arrive and be like, hey, guess what? That's not the only army.
yeah, you guys are good. You'll have just arrived. You'll need to find where they are. So if somebody wants to investigate and find your group. While you're doing that. So Emrys, yeah, he claps. He's just like, I underestimated you. Maybe you are a leader.
Okay, hear me out. There's a secret third option. We pull a one-on-one combat thing, and we set everything on fire behind the one-on-one combat. And we just so happen to capture the leader and gain information.
11.
I rolled a 9.
They can't find the important people right now.
They found Idea, who's not with the rest of us. Not that you're not.
Yes. You found Idea. Idea is chilling with the druids. And nobody else is there.
Alright, so pull up to their little campfire and I was just Idea, do you happen to know where the leaders are?
The worst person to ask.
She doesn't work out her necklace, guys.
Well, she knows you guys all went up and went that way.
Adea will look at Cadmus. Which way did the other druids walk again?
He looks up. I don't know. He rolled a 2. He has no idea.
He's still trying to figure out the bank of Hades. Like, Idea's concerned with her necklace. Cadmus is trying to figure out this bank of Hades magic. Like, what am I not doing right?
Why is that one putting it looks like a gem in the ground?
Rada will cast Thaumaturgy and have her voice be amplified. So that, let me just double check that a little bit. Your normal voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute. We are looking for Aurelius Rex and Uther Pendragon.
A bunch of people jump, but then I will say that instead of a bunch of people like pointing you the way, you hear this weird voice in your ear that's just like, we're over. He'll give like directions. I don't know. I can't think of what I want my brain to say.
We're right behind you.
We're right behind you.
We're to the right about 200 paces.
We're north east of your position.
One of the droids heard them because the thaumaturgy was definitely picked up by their wind magic.
Alright, the Rada will head in their directions. When they are within dark vision line of sight of Tong, she will hop off Rada and just like trot over in her fox form because it's a lot easier to carry a fox than a person. And,
That's true.
let me just gonna come up and never be known that I am not useful even on the brink of death. As she is carrying her backpack in her mouth.
I'm sorry, little one, but no one's going to be understanding you if you have something in your mouth.
Alright, she'll put down her pack and say, alright. Let me know that I am
Still in
not
box
useful
form?
even on the brink of death.
Is she still in box form?
Yes.
Okay.
I see. No, I do not see. What do you mean?
Alright, she will telekinetically open up her backpack and pull out a written report and give it to Aurelius. And it just summarizes the events that led up to. Well, it's a report on the infiltration of the Saxon camp. Probably barely legible because at the best of times, Tong doesn't have that good handwriting, and it's probably worse when it's she's riding on a horse, more or less, and doing it telekinetically.
But did she attach the letters?
Yeah, like, do you have all the rest of the stuff you picked up?
So, I put what Tong did in the roleplay chat. I don't know
Yep.
if anyone saw that.
I did.
I did.
I need to remind
Little
myself
bit.
of it, but
Then she will pull out the map, and presumably it's like those classical depictions of war maps where you have like little pieces that you put on.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
she'll put the little pieces back to wherever she found them, and be like, so, well, we went over to see if we could sack the camp, take a bunch of items, found half of the army there, but it turns out that's not the only army. There are two more.
Boris is looking over the map and he just goes, "You little vixen."
Like she looks in his direction, beaming, just like the adorable like fox look.
I like her. Look at this. I mean, we actually know where all their armies are. Sacre bleu!
Well, someone has to be intelligent around here. I was being strategic.
And Cadmus were being useless.
Huh. You infiltrated the army camp.
Yes, we did, and sadly, I was the only one that was useful. Even though I gave 2 other people invisibility, they decided to, just see if they could take an individual person out in the middle of a meeting.
I am ashamed.
Shame.
But also, she'll bring out the letters, and the medallion wasn't magical, correct?
No.
She will bring out the medallion too. And the orders.
Uther will actually take the medallion and he's got it. Kind of throws it on the ground, just that insufferable. I don't know why you're so upset, Uther. We already knew he was working with them. After all, he was the one who invited them. I know, but I hate seeing the proof of it. What, the Saxons themselves weren't enough? Okay.
Now, this is all that I thought was important at the moment. I have yet to actually take a look at the letters, and she will turn to the Erden and Brina, the other members of the outgoing group. Like, I do have other stuff, but we should probably go through that. If not tonight, tomorrow morning. See if there's anything useful.
Well, I think we should go through it tonight because I like my idea and I think it's our best shot. So, let me see those.
I can help read those, probably.
Okay.
Probably.
He doesn't know what they're written in.
Well, damn, I was hoping that I could stay in this form sooner. And this is going to cause quite a mess, and she'll end her wild shape and turn her bag of holding inside out. Because that's where everything else was.
Oh my.
Whoosh.
Impressive. I need to get myself one of those.
Basically, of the NPCs, the only one who doesn't react to everything coming out of your bag is Emrys.
And then, so you have everything that she didn't, she pilfered that she didn't put in there, along with, oh no, that's Rada's inventory. Tong's inventory. A bedroll, 2 sets of common clothes, 1 set of fine clothes, a mess kit, 50 feet of hemmed rope, a tinderbox, and 10 torches. And a number of rock samples.
Oh. Did you take this all from them?
Not all of it. I just figured that this would be easier to pull out than. And she's saying this as she's beginning to put her actual stuff back into the bag of holding. Starting with the rocks.
So, what's with the clothes?
Well, one is when before I lost faith in nobility, I was part of a noble court back home. I lived in Rome for 17 years, back before the Jews took over.
Damn Jews.
The Christians.
Well, it gets hot in the desert, and Persia is a desert. I kind of want clothes that I won't overheat in.
Those are generally good clothes to have.
See. Huh.
Emerald can confirm.
Emrys will go ahead and pick up the letters. Brythonic. Must mean they know, at least the leaders know how to read Brythonic. Interesting. You'd think that they'd try to keep it out of the native tongue. Unless these letters were meant as decoys.
Is there anything not written in Brythonic?
I believe the letters mentioning Rowena and Swarsa were...
Not in
those
Brythonic.
Those were in the personal tent.
These ones are written in Latin. Which means these ones were meant to be kept secret. He drops the Brythonic ones and is looking at the Latin one.
Ern starts skimming through the Brythonic ones.
So the Brythonic ones are kind of a little nonsensical. You get the feel that whoever wrote these probably knows very little Brythonic. Broken Brythonic. Talking basically, you see words that have been capitalized. One looks like it says West Saxon, and one that says East Saxon, and one that says South Saxon. So it looks like they've named sections of the land that they've been giving basically after cardinal directions. Funny enough, there's no North Saxon.
That's just a given.
That's where the Picts live.
That's where what?
The Picts live.
Yeah, nobody wants to go up there.
It's labeled "Here be dragons," but they're not being facetious about being lazy or something. It's like there
You
might as
see,
well be dragons here for how much danger there is.
everyone avoided it until the Vikings, and the Vikings are like, to hell with it. Let's go. They're like, I don't see what you guys. We made friends with them and everything. It's fine. What's wrong with the rest of you?
Sorry, every time that the Picts come up in this campaign, it just makes me so proud because I'm predominantly Scottish in my ancestry, but my ancestors are predominantly Highland Scots. So, Pictish peoples!
Yep.
I mean, wouldn't you be terrified of people that paint themselves blue?
And run at you naked? Yeah.
I tried that once.
I think it would get old after a bit.
Oh my gosh, how did I forget that?
But yeah, they're basically talking about how the settlements are doing and how families are settling. One of them, you see a line that says that Horsa is displeased with what's going on now, but he'd never say anything. You know, he would just stab whoever was pissing him off.
Actually, Ern will pull out some of his lined paper and pencil and start summarizing some of the broken Brythonic, because after a while it's like, wait a minute, it skips a whole section. Does it still relate to the top bits? It's like, okay, let's just figure this out here.
One of them, you're pretty sure, says, we tried to go north and befriend the people up there to have them join our cause. And they slaughtered half our army, so we gave up. They're like, we decided that wall was there for a reason, so we're going to stay south of it. It's like, maybe the Romans had the right idea.
Yeah, Ern will actually mutter to himself, so, there were two things that the Romans were actually decent about.
Hadrian's Wall and then the other wall.
Ern's two positive opinions about the Romans is the wall and their roads. Until he went to Atlantis, then he was a little disappointed, but there's only so far. You can go.
On the mainland, aquifers. The aquifers that they had made?
Aqueducts.
Aqueducts, thank you. I don't know why I said aquifer, because I was thinking rocks. Yeah, the aqueducts. Running. Look! Outdoor plumbing!
Seems like a fad.
It'll never take off.
Like, I get the roads part, it's very convenient, but I still don't understand this whole plumbing business.
One day when you can flush a toilet, you'll understand.
That'd be really funny for her to imagine.
I always think about that, though. People are like, I wish I lived in this time period. And I'm going, I like living when there are toilets.
Yeah.
I love the fashions from some of the other things and some of the innovations, but I don't want to piss in a chamber pot.
Yeah, if you have the option to time travel, this is technically at the best point, so go to the future. It's gonna it can only get better. We've already experienced the worst.
Just saying, also from a more personal thing, feminine hygiene. The stuff they had to use before where it's basically just layers of cloth. Oh, that sounds disgusting. I'm really grateful for feminine hygiene.
Oh yeah, and they didn't have chloroform until the 1850s, so surgery was hell on earth. And it was seen as a form of pride to have blood on your tools every time you use them, so infection abound until the 1880s.
They thought that the more carnage that you had on you showed that you were a more prolific surgeon. It's like, no.
No, please, no. Do not go
Please.
past. At least don't go
Caroline.
past the 1920s.
So
Please
chloroform
don't.
was an early anesthetic, but chloroform they also use, like, Queen Victoria used chloroform as a anesthetic for when she had one of her kids, like, down the line, and it was very new. Which, yeah.
I was
I
gonna
know
say
it's originally called
technically.
Aether.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically in the late 1800s they did have opium.
Yeah, opium was another common anesthetic.
Of course, a lot of people got hooked to it, but that's beside the point.
Right,
Yeah.
there was an entire war.
At least you weren't feeling any pain.
Oh, I know there were 2 wars over opium, but it was about the sale of opium, not the actual use of opium.
I'd like to point out that it only takes about 40 years in the past for my education to be meaningless and for me to not have a job.
I've been putting together some like PowerPoints for geology lessons, and it didn't occur to me until I was reading like plate tectonics, like the theory of plate tectonics, like wasn't really solidified until like the 60s.
Yeah.
And even then it took a while to get it into like the literature, so like my parents growing up would have had no idea what plate tectonics was. Like me talking about it would have been I'm like, well,
It was just
all
being
right.
accepted when my dad was in college.
Yeah. Well, and even now, because when I was in college, they were still talking about convection, and now they're talking about other stuff causing movements of the plate. So, like, I get the feeling, like, I get how you feel, because a lot, like, half of our field is still, like, in progress in the last, like, 50 years.
Yeah, I need the computer technology for anything that I know to actually matter.
Yeah, the farthest I can go back is like the 1950s, because I think that's when DC and AC were starting to become their own. So, yeah, no, I can't go past the 1900s.
Thankfully, what I studied actually goes
I
back
mean,
to writing and music.
the furthest back I can go is like the late 1700s.
At least
So.
it existed. It wasn't very good, but it at least existed.
No. But I
But
mean,
you
that's
also have
when.
the option to progress your studies by going back hundreds of millions of years.
Yeah. It's like, well, we only figured out that this existed, 200 years ago, but we can go way back.
Yeah, speaking of rocks, Tom
That's
picks up
actually-
one of her rocks and was like, oh, I forgot I had this. I'll have to take a look at that later.
The plate tectonics thing is actually really interesting to me, but it made me think of a conversation I was having with my mom recently, because my mom is going to Ireland in October,
Oh,
and she has some, and she'll be in London for a day or two before, like 2 to 3 days beforehand, and then off to Ireland and Northern Ireland. And explaining to her the fact that there are 3 different currencies that she has to use over there, because you have the euro in Ireland, North Irish pounds, and then Great British pounds. But my mom had some Canadian money that she thought at first that she could use in Britain because of them still having a good relationship, but Canada is no longer under Britain. And so I had to explain that to her, but at the same time, like, in her growing up, it makes sense. My mom was born in 1952, and so for her, it makes sense. Because when did we discover that Canada actually broke away and became its own thing? Because we looked it up. It
was more like the British
result.
didn't want to keep taking care of them, but it was sometime in the 60s.
Yeah, it was like sometime in the 60s before Canada was its own thing.
Entirely. It'd been going on for it took like a century to go from completely, totally Yiddish to like, sorry, but you can keep the king if you really want.
It's like
Okay.
we don't have the resources to just keep taking care of you, so and you're kind of already ruling yourself, so go be on your own. But we still like you guys. Can you at least come visit? Well, yeah, sure, we can come visit. But no, it was one of those things where
It's like the child with separation anxiety. Please don't kick me out. You have to leave. I can't do this anymore. Get out of my house.
You've been spending too much time with America. You're getting really Americanized. It's getting a little weird
See,
now.
we talk. We speak French. Yeah, that's worse. You're not helping your case here.
That's not making your case. It's actually breaking it more.
Yeah, poor Quebec. But no, that's what it reminded me of, was how, because of how, when my mom grew up, that it actually made sense in her brain that would have carried over. Whereas me working in banking, I knew very well that no, none of those, these are all different currencies. So I got to help her with that. But she also didn't grow up knowing what Area 51 was. And so I had to explain that concept to her at a later date, because it wasn't something that really came up in her education.
Well, and I know there's British heroes because I have some.
The Brits, after Brexit, they're not on the euro anymore.
They used the euro until they decided to leave the European Union.
So there might have been,
Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot about that.
that's probably why.
I heard more about Scotland trying to break away than them trying to break off from the Union.
Scotland's always trying to break away from Britain.
I know. One day they'll do it. They've done it
excited
before.
when I heard rumors about like, yeah, Scotland, finally go back to the EU. You can finally
Freedom.
Sorry, we should probably get back to
Yes.
the fact that the Saxons gave up trying to befriend the pigs.
Yes. And there's 3 armies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
We were all the Latin letters.
Yes.
one of them definitely seems to be a letter from maybe mom. Just, basic everyday life. The farm's good. The kids miss you. And I hope you're eating enough because I don't want you to come back skinny.
like Ern's slowly making piles like, okay, this is for the war effort. This is personal, and I'm just not gonna copy that down. Maybe I can give this back to him. Everyone loves a letter from mom.
Maybe he was a nagging wife.
It has familial markers. Ern's not gonna really touch that.
Just imagining Aiden now. You, Family Matters. That's what I'm saying.
So as you're going through these, and Emrys is going through the Latin one, he closes his eyes for a moment. Those of you, are you sending me Snapchats of my cat again?
Probably.
I feel like
I can
that's
hear you cackling.
I could hear that.
You can hear that?
Yeah, we all heard that.
You're muted and I can hear you cackling from the other room.
Yeah, we could hear over Jen's thing.
This better be a cute picture. Oh, it is. What?
We should just have a separate text channels for just what's been said over Snapchat over these sessions.
They're all going to be pictures of Albus.
They are.
Not a bad
my
thing.
cat will do. You should see my Snapchat. Like, me and her, it's like Slugbug and Albus. All it is. Anyway, let's see, I'm trying to think.
Close his eye. Amherst closed his eyes.
Yeah, how many of you... Well, I guess you're all kind of watching that. We'll just go with it. And he actually slowly sets the paper down. Says, I need you guys to move. Like, back off. And as he says this, Uther does not. Uther does not back off. He actually goes and lays down. And Uther's like, you okay? But before he can really finish it, Emrys kind of snaps rigid all of a sudden and then starts kind of shaking. And it looks like he's having a seizure. Erden, you have seen this once before, and it still freaks you the hell out.
Ern just slides a couple of the papers a little farther away from him just to ensure a little bit of distance, and also kind of slides away just to give him some space and just goes back to copying, kind of like, this is still bothering me. It's like he's trying to he wants to watch, but he's forcing himself away.
Tong doesn't care.
The shaking.
Back to...
I'm probably watching because I'm not sure what's going on and I'm worried about my...
The shaking stops almost as fast as it starts, and then his eyes kind of roll to the back of his skull so you can see his like the lights. And he just freezes. Uther's kind of got a hand on him, just like watching him, and he's silent. And Aurelius is just like, "What the hell was that?" And Gorlois actually comes over because he too has seen this happen before, and he just kind of kneels by him and he's like, he's having a vision.
I'm pretty sure he prefers the word curse.
How about you stop being a smart ass and you pull a blanket out because he is ice cold.
Alright. Ernst finally sets his stuff down and actually pulls out a blanket he happens to have in his bag.
Here,
just lays it over him.
I was gonna say, Erden, I'll take the blanket if you want to keep going on the letters. I'll be little messenger running around.
And not long after you've gotten the blanket on him, his body relaxes and his eyes roll back and then his lids kind of shut. And he kind of groans. Oh, I hate my life. There's kind of, do you need anything? Water?
Ern already is pulling out his water skin.
I could try and make some chocolate.
Yeah. Uther will help him. Uther and Gorlos will help him sit up so that he can get some of the water.
I can help make him some hot chocolate. I think I still have enough stuff.
Sorry, what? Hot chocolate?
It's pretty good stuff.
I don't know what that means.
You don't have to. It's good.
My best friend Roha gave me her recipe.
Trust me, it will probably help.
It'll probably help. If not. Alright. You can go ahead and make him some hot chocolate.
Yay! Do I have to roll anything? Please no.
Crafting wisdom.
Yeah, I guess it would just be like a wisdom. I was say, yeah, it'd probably be a wisdom check just to make sure you get it right.
Okay.
The day only gets to roll intelligence and dexterity crafting checks.
That was not a
But
good
wisdom is how you know that it should be shaken, not stirred.
15?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get it to the right temperature so it's not too hot, and you hand it over.
Ern watches the entire time. Just like, okay, so that's how you do it.
He kind of takes it, and he's like, smelling it. It is sweet
there's a little bit of a kick to it.
And he'll like slowly take a sip. Wow, that's.
I introduced the Merlin to hot chocolate.
Ern like turns back, just like, yes. This is like the ecstatic. This is as much as you're going to get from him. Kind of congratulations.
Yay! I'm just hoping that it was making it. I would just wanted him to feel better. Because whatever that was did not look fun.
It's not. This is certainly warming me up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I burned my tongue.
Oh, don't drink it that fast. You have to wait for it to cool down a little bit. Though at the same
Now
time,
Brina is scolding the Merlin for drinking his hot chocolate.
though at the same time, I understand. I normally burn my tongue on my first cup after a while.
So, what'd you see?
Hot chocolates.
Nothing that I haven't seen already. So, see. Turns to look to Uther. The dragons. It was just the dragons again.
Who won?
The red one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And Ern will actually look at Uther when he says, like, yeah, that's pretty good.
See? I think this is an omen. We need to go now and just set fire to the camp and just get rid of them. Like,
I was going to let Gausha burn their tents, but then no. We were on a clandestine mission. We had to get out of there. I had to inform the kings.
I don't know which chaotic force I'm more afraid of, Tong or Uther.
Oh, you think Uther's bad? Wait until you meet his son. Woo! Arthur is chaotic.
Like, Ern's currently looking back and forth between two, like, okay, I can control one person, but I don't think I can control two.
Aurelius is just like, I don't know, and Emerus is like, no. This is actually a good plan. Stop trying to baby him and let him do his job. Do you want the Saxons gone or not, Aurelius? I know you're a man of honor. Uther is not. Let him do his job. Hey! Rude! When have I ever done anything less than honorable?
Actually, Erden will kind of like just lean over to Uther, just like, accept the Lancer position. Everyone loves you anyways.
What position?
Lancer.
It's a story trope of there's the leader and then there's the person who's basically their immediate foil in the group.
Yeah, which in the Whims of Fate would be Erden to Rada as the leader.
Uther looks like he wants to argue, but he just... Fine. And basically he says it at the same time as Aurelius. Fine. And my recommendation, Aurelius, would be for you to stay behind. One of you has to appear honorable. Appear. Come now, Aurelius. We both know that there have been some unsavory things in the past. Yeah, alright. Go set fire.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, you have 3 armies to deal with. 2.5 armies to deal with. If you're looking forward to the dragon to intimidate them to go away. I think you underestimate the stubbornness of the Germani.
Well, I can tell you I'm going to be of no use. I'm useless after a vision. I'm not going to be able to move for a little while. Honestly, I'm surprised that I'm even awake.
It might be the hot chocolate.
I didn't
One
prophesy,
more.
did I? It was just a vision, right?
Yeah, it was just a vision.
Oh my god. Prophecies
If
can
you do
kick
want any
my
more hot
ass.
chocolate, I can make you some more.
I think I'm fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just need to rest. Visions. 1 out of 10, don't recommend.
I mean, I can speak from experience. Having to do the same thing over and over again is very tedious and not enjoyable.
Alright, Uther, you go do your thing. I'm gonna get Emrys to bed. And Aurelius will actually go and kind of get him up. And kind of get him settled a little further away from the fire, so he doesn't, accidentally catch on fire in his sleep. And I'm totally not saying that because that totally happened in field season. But
No, it definitely didn't happen. No,
Trent
no
totally
extremes
did
here.
not roll over in his sleep onto the fire, but hey, it was only October. Yeah, they went out to our site at the very, very beginning of it being found to they wanted to go do some extra work or whatever, and it was October, so it was cold. So they were sleeping around the fire to stay warm, and Trent definitely rolled into the fire.
Is that why he has the pop-up tent?
Uh-huh. No, he doesn't like to have a ton of stuff. He usually has his car, so like he doesn't need a tent to store everything in because his truck's usually always there. Also, I think he just likes to be different. And no, the last time he actually used his real pop-up tent, where you pull it out of the package and it springs up into a tent, he got soaked because he forgot to put the rain fly on. Trent is a smart dumb, and I adore him.
But he's a smart dumb.
Yeah. He's in cop training now, so hopefully he'll be a better cop than he is a camper.
We can only hope.
Anyway,
I have a
So-
very funny image of him using this pop-up tent as a weapon somehow.
Better than what's normally used.
Like tossing it at somebody to like stop them from doing something.
like
I choose you, pop-up
weapon.
tent.
Well, hello. What are you looking at? You staring right at me. What are you doing?
Begging for food?
No, she's just watching me.
Before we go, I do have this to say that don't want to take like we don't want to go tonight. We just want to take like probably just the cavalry or whoever has a horse. You got to remember they still have half an army out there.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't gonna bring everybody. That would be a lot of noise. I was actually thinking, that we'd take our stealthiest members.
I do have a horse.
Emra looks around at sleep. He knows where that request is about to go.
Do we think that we can make horses quiet enough to sneak up there? A lot of horses can make a nice thundering sound, so I don't want to, like, give away that we're there. Unless we ride out, leave the horses somewhere far enough away that we can sneak in on foot.
I mean, that's an option. I just believe there are also certain ranger abilities to allow. I believe it's called Pass Without Trace.
Yes, I'm aware that forest-dwelling folk have a knack for being quiet. That's why I have Gorlas. His people are great at it.
And there's Amor's cue.
And he just like pats Gorlos on the back. And Gorlos just kind of looks to Amor and goes, "Well, up for another job."
Yeah. After Rada mentions the having abilities, Emmer will be like, I have my ways. I won't need to know what they are.
That was Dong. Dong's the one that said that. Rada's too tired to say anything right now.
Yeah.
Because considering she ran back.
Carrying Tom.
And
You know
Tooth's
me, my
not
lord
there.
Lord.
The
I will do
singing
as I am asked,
entire group.
and I will not complain.
So how far away is this army camp?
Rada
Have my
will
crows
give an
come-
estimate
Oh,
because
yeah, my
she
crows
was
have come.
probably the one paying most attention to that, and she has a good survival.
Cool. That's probably, 4-ish hours.
Dang, 8 hours. Well, I suppose it's not too uncommon for Americans. So it was
I'm talking like this is like a round
round
trip type thing.
round trip, okay.
Yeah.
So, and that was for the outgoing group. It was 2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Yep.
Was George slowing us down any?
Probably. Well, no, because you guys didn't stop moving when he started. Once you realized that he was going to keep going, you guys didn't stop. You just kept walking on, watching him until he got up.
All right. Hold on. I have a travel calculator. Henry, what's your movement speed?
Wait a minute.
45.
I'm chocolate.
45. Where's my? There it is. Never
So,
mind.
as everybody else is talking, Brina's like, she has her hot chocolate and stuff like that, and trying to figure out, it's like, okay, I have a little bit left. I mean, I mostly made enough for one, but there's probably enough for maybe another little bit of cup. She kind of like notices Amor's like, hey, Amor, do you want some hot chocolate? You didn't get a chance to try it because you didn't get to go to my home.
Or you'll see Ern start digging through his bag of holding when he hears that. And he'll pull out a crushed a red singles cup. I think this will still hold some of that.
I would love to, Brina. It sounds like I need to go gather some men.
Courage for your mission?
You're too kind.
Yeah, so I'm going. I think I already had another cup or something to be able to have him use, but I'm gonna thank Airden for the crushed red solo cup.
You probably got it from Tooth.
Oh yeah.
It's probably about 9 miles.
Okay. It's not far, but it's not close either, so at least you don't have to worry about them sneaking up on us. Okay. Yeah, I think to cut on time, we'll take the cavalry and anybody who can move quickly on foot. And we'll leave the
Define
horses
quickly.
can keep pace with the horses. There aren't a lot of people who can do that.
Rada.
Rada
Henry.
is cavalry. What are you talking about?
What's the pace of a horse?
They can move
Uh.
60 feet.
Most horses can travel 60 feet in a round, so that's like twice as fast as a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
The that's like per round.
And it's not like he's going to have them galloping. He's going to be having them trotting because they don't want to make a ton of noise. He probably won't even have them cantering. A swift trot.
Nice. It's not full speed, so I should probably be able to keep up. Unless they
Yeah,
find a
you
big
should.
enough horse. I need a Clydesdale.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna find any of those in the army.
No.
War horses are also not the same as regular riding horses either.
Yeah. And what
Because
you
war-
asked for is a draft
Yeah.
horse.
War horses had to be large enough to carry a man in full plate
Build up,
armor, full armor with weapons and all of their supplies. War horses are very large horses.
So they should have a couple of those at least, right?
Erden has
They don't
one.
really have much to
Oh.
spare. Anything that the cavalry wasn't using, they sent with the rest of the army to help haul stuff out.
Good point.
You should be fine though. Like I said, they're going to be at a trot, so they're not going, twice as fast as a human.
Henry's probably the next most qualified person.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you start looking at people like Idea who are just ridiculously tall and get a little bit extra out of their
They're like,
stride, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're probably
And then they're
between
free.
40 and 45 feet per round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then there's
So they're
Rita,
only going
who would have to ride someone. Or a
Yeah.
horse. I'd have to either
Same.
ride on a rata or ride a horse.
Same with Tooth. Tooth would not be able to keep up.
Yep.
But yeah. Alright, so
My liege, do we have a chosen method to set fire to said camp of Saxons?
I just want to make sure that we can set things on fire. Maybe if we can find a way to time it so that none of us get caught in it by accident. And so that we ourselves are not caught by them, setting fire to things. We may even be able to use their own fires against them.
How many of you are? I believe the term is Christian. That's the preferred term. I don't get it, but I believe there's a story in your holy book about a heavily outnumbered army just surrounding the enemy's camp and lighting all their lamps and making a bunch of noise and having just the enemy kill themselves.
That's in a holy book?
That is the best response you could have made.
Really familiar, I will admit. Terribly Christian. But yes, in theory, a lot of us are Christian. I would say that I am inactive. But yes, that story does sound vaguely familiar.
Yeah, I feel like I had to read that once when I was at the Library of Alexandria. You just, forced diversity curriculum.
Oh my gosh. College. Okay. She's back in the Triceratops. She always looks so funny because her head's just big enough to be like tongue-sized. So that it looks like the Triceratops is going bleh. I have a picture from a while ago. I'll have to send it to you guys.
Amor wouldn't know this. But if we were trying to get fires to randomly appear at a time after we left, Adea could actually do that if she had any spell slots left.
Which she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. Of course she doesn't.
Because Idea.
But you could totally put a wall of
ward.
fire in a glyph of warding, cast at level 4, and just wait for somebody to walk over it. That'd be hilarious.
How do I do this?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Right. Aha. Blech. Let's see. Who do I want to send it to? General. Okay. Dude, if I can. I haven't sent anything to our stuff. I go through Canyonland. There we go. Now you guys can see how cute she is.
Yep, that does look like. Bleh.
It's adorable.
Oh, back in the pyramid. Yeah, I love it when she pokes her head out and thinks she looks so funny.
Upon hearing this request, Emerald will say, "Do you have somebody in mind to create this effect, or do I need to start searching the camp?"
Oh, what I suggested? I don't know. I'm an independent mercenary.
I'm definitely down to going back. I found lots of fires over there that we could help in this little sabotage.
I mean, I wanted to do it the first time. I really want to go back.
Look, I think this group here is probably good. We need to get some of the druids involved. Cadmus loves setting fire. Come on, you know it. You both know it's true, Gorlos. And Gorlos is like, I'm not disagreeing. And we should get some of your wind buddies because they can make it bigger.
I mean, I can also have my
Yeah, okay.
breathe fire and just have them fly over the center of the camp.
At this, I'm gonna like look at Henry and make sure he's not freaking out about an idea of Al breathing fire again.
That's fine.
But also mentioning as I'm doing so, Cadmus was at the fire with Idea last I saw him.
He was.
Alright.
Do you need me to grab you any water? You be okay?
Look, it's I'm fine. I just need a little bit more time to catch my breath.
Okay.
Alright, I'll have you guys go talk to the druids then. See how many of them you can get to come with us. I'm gonna go talk to the cavalry and get them all ready. Gorlos, if you'll get your burglars, that'd be great. They're not burglars. They steal information for me. They're burglars.
Spies.
Somebody's been watching The Hobbit.
The Emerald will just give the burglar comment a quizzical look.
Sounds like a plan.
Lord Emerald the burglar. Is he a, I guess he's technically he's a count? Count Emerald the burglar? I'm trying to remember his title now.
I think he's a lord.
I forget if it's Lord or Count.
I think he's a
Who?
lord.
Emerald.
Yeah, Lord. His title would be Lord.
Lord Emerald the burglar.
All right. We will meet at the edge of the forest in say 10 minutes. All right, break.
I
And that is where we will end today's session because it's 10 o'clock.
Yes.
yeah, it's a good place to end.
It's a good place to end. So,